Welcome 6th grade. Lesson 3, we're going to be finding the area of a trapezoid. So let's first determine what is the formula for the area of a trapezoid. Okay. So to determine this, I want to look at my trapezoid that I've drawn here. Okay. Let's see if we can relate it to one of our earlier lessons of the area of a figure that we do know. So let me ask you, if I were to take this trapezoid, flip it over, and add it here, what shape have I now created? A parallelogram. And I know that the area of a parallelogram is going to be the base times the height. Okay? That is what we learned in our earlier lesson. I believe it was lesson 1. Okay? The area of a parallelogram. But let's decompose. What is the base of this parallelogram now? Well, I have one side here from my original trapezoid. Let's call this base number 1. But then, in order to get the entire parallelogram, I then also have to add this piece here, which is the top of the base, which has a different value. So I'll call this base number 2. For a total base of base 1 plus base 2. So the area of a trapezoid is going to be the base 1 plus base 2, okay? And then multiplied by the height. Remember, when we're talking about height, that we're talking about the line that is perpendicular to the bases. Okay, perpendicular to the bases here. That is going to be the height of your parallelogram, the height of your trapezoid. You're always going to want to look for that right angle, and that's going to tell you what is your height and what is your base. Okay, so multiplied by the height. But this is going to give me the area of the entire parallelogram. I don't want the entire parallelogram. I just want my original trapezoid. So to get just the original trapezoid, then I need to divide by 2. Divide by 2, because I took 2 trapezoids to make the parallelogram. If I want to go back to one trapezoid, then I'll need to divide by 2. And so this is where the formula for the area of a trapezoid comes from. The area is equal to the sum of the bases, base 1 plus base 2, multiplied by the height, and then divided by 2. Okay. So we're going to do an example of this. Make sure that when you're evaluating these that you're following the order of operations. So recall, when you follow the order of operations, P is for parentheses, E is for exponents, M and D, multiply, divide from left to right, and then add and subtract also from left to right. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at this trapezoid here. I'm going to fill in some values. Okay? I will fill in some values. I'll call this here is 6 centimeters, 9 centimeters, 4 centimeters. Okay? And I'm going to draw this invisible line here, which is attached to the right angle, as 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. Okay? And let's see if we can determine the values to find the area of this triangle. Okay? So in order to do so, let's first find the bases and the height. Again, your key for the whole rest of this chapter, we're doing area and volume, is going to be able to identify the bases and the heights. And the easiest way to do that is find the right angle. Find the distance. If they don't give this to you, you draw a line from the top to the bottom at a right angle. And now we've just found one of the bases here, which is 9. And notice here that there's another right angle at the top. That would lead to my other base of base 2. So 9 is a base, and 4 is my other base. Okay? So the area is going to be equal to the sum of the bases, 9 plus 4, okay, multiplied by the height. And the height is going to be the distance in between the bases. And the distance here is 2.5, multiplied by 2 and 5/10, all divided by 2. Okay? And you're always going to divide by 2 because that's what's in our formula. Remember, we don't want 2 trapezoids, we just want 1. Okay? So now we can evaluate. Go back to your order of operations. We want to complete the parentheses first. 9 plus 4 is 13. Multiply by 2 and 5/10, then divide by 2. Okay? 13 multiplied by 2 and 5/10 is going to give you 32 and 5/10. Divide by 2. And so your final answer is going to be 16.25 centimeters squared. Okay? Centimeters squared. And just a side note, so we can understand why these units are squared. This is not 16.25 squared. Only the units are squared, okay? When we're talking about length, so if I were to walk from one side of my house to the other side of the house, it would be in feet, right? So I have feet. But if I'm talking about the area of the room I'm in my kitchen, so if I find the area of my kitchen, then I would multiply the length times the width, which is feet times feet, and get feet squared. Then later this chapter, we'll be talking about volume, okay? And volume has 3 dimensions, length times width times height. So this would be feet to the 3rd power, okay? But we are not actually taking the exponents of any of these numbers, so be careful there, okay? I'm getting up and I'm getting going, and I'm trying to make as many videos as I can. If you're struggling with something, if you have a question that you want to see a video on, please reach out to me. Do not leave a comment though. If you have a question, you need to email me, call me, or text me directly to the number that was provided to you. That's my Google Voice number, or directly to my J. Ayers Resurrection email, okay? So if you need help, let me know. Hope you're having a good day. Get the work done. I have extended the deadlines if you were unable to get onto the platform. So I know a lot of you had issues. I was making lots of phone calls yesterday. If you were under 13, we realized that you were unable to access some of the documents or some of the websites. So if you're still unable to get in, please call me right away so we can get it worked out. Thank you. Bye.